Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. Now, let's start. But before that, I have to address one issue. Yesterday, some spammer made a fake account in the name of GKToday and pasted this message multiple times. So this is a spam account. If you see such type of commercial comments or any Bitcoin investment related comment, then please report it to the YouTube. As you can see, for your reference and for your better understanding, I have used two responses. This is the official response from GKToday. You can see there's a tick mark and this is some fake account. So please be aware and please report it. Be it any kind of hate comment, any kind of harassment or any commercial comment which you see in the comment section. As per the Tribunal's Reform Ordinance promulgated recently, the powers of appellate authorities are vested with which body? So, first thing first, the Centre promulgated Tribunal Reforms Ordinance recently. So as per the ordinance, the existing appellate authorities are replaced and their powers are vested in the high courts. Let me simplify it. See, tribunals are specialized courts. That means they will hear only specific type of cases. On the other hand, courts will hear all type of cases. Tribunals are quasi-judicial body. Quasi means partially. Now, in order to challenge the decision of a tribunal, there is a appellate authority. Now, as per this recent ordinance, the appellate authorities are vested in the High Court. That means after the judgment of tribunal, you can challenge that judgment in the High Court. If we talk about ordinance powers, Article 123 contains the ordinance powers of President and Article 213 contains the provisions for ordinance powers of Governor. If we talk about tribunals, originally tribunals were not the part of Constitution. It was incorporated in Indian Constitution through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act and it was in 1976. So now we have two important articles, 323A and 323B. This 323A is related to administrative tribunals. So you can keep it this way, A to A. So A stands for administrative tribunals and B stands for all other tribunals. That means tribunals related to other matters. Please note that tribunals under Article 323A can be established only by the Parliament. On the other hand, tribunals under Article 323B can be established both by Parliament as well as by the state government depending on their legislative competence. And the legislative competence is specified in the 7th schedule. So in 7th schedule, there are three lists: Union list, state list and concurrent list. Next question is, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers organized National Dialogue on Chemical Manufacturing along with which organization? So this organization is UNIDO. What is IDO? It is United Nations Industrial Development Organization. So as the name suggests, it promotes industrial development for the poverty eradication and for the environmental sustainability. Recently, UNIDO was in news as it organized this national dialogue on chemical manufacturing as well as a dialogue under clean manufacturing in India as a part of Swachh Udyog. Udyog stands for industry. So this UNIDO is United Nations agency and the headquarters is in Vienna. Vienna is in Austria. In fact, Vienna is the headquarters of OPEC. What is OPEC? It is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Usually a related term is also used and it is OPEC plus. So answer in comment box, what is the difference between OPEC and OPEC plus? Apart from that, the headquarters of IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency, is also in Vienna in Austria. Please answer in comment box whether IAEA is an organization of United Nations or not. Next question is, the Barak nuclear power plant which was started recently is situated in which country? So it is situated in the UAE, that is United Arab Emirates. Why it is so special? Because it is the first nuclear power station in Arab world and this is located in Abu Dhabi. Recently it was in news because it started its commercial operations. So this power plant has been built with the help of South Korea. So there are two Korea, one is North Korea, one is South Korea. Capital of North Korea is Pyongyang, capital of South Korea is Seoul. Recently, South Korea was also in news because of LG. So LG is a company of South Korea and recently LG announced that it is going to quit smartphone business. Recently, North Korea was in news as it decided not to participate in Tokyo Olympics. Tokyo is in Japan and it is the host of this year's Olympic Games. Recently, Netra Kumanan was in news in the context of Olympics, and she became the first Indian woman sailor to qualify for the Olympics. Apart from that, recently, Indian Army officer Lieutenant Colonel Bharat Pannu made Guinness World Record for fastest solo cycling. Now recently, Indian Army was also in news because of military farms, as Indian Army decided to close the military farms after 132 years of service. So the decision was taken on 31st of March. Now usually these military farms were set up with an objective to provide hygienic cow milk to the troops, and these were set up during the Britishers' time. So the first military farm was formed in 1889 at Allahabad, and Allahabad is in Uttar Pradesh. Next question is, which institution announced that it favored adoption of global minimum tax on corporate profits? So this was proposed by IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. The chief economist of IMF is Geeta Gopinath. Recently, she was in news because IMF has announced adoption of a global minimum tax on the corporate profits. See, because of the pandemic situation, everyone suffered. However, because of this pandemic, the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. So, IMF has proposed solidarity tax on pandemic winners. Who are pandemic winners? Those companies which prospered during the pandemic situation. So, IMF has proposed that a temporary solidarity tax should be imposed on such companies which earned more profit during the pandemic situation. Idea is to reduce social inequalities. So, this is going to be a temporary tax. Now, this is on the lines of Germany's solidarity tax. Actually, a solidarity tax was imposed in Germany after unification in 1991. So after the unification of East and Western Germany, this tax was proposed. Recently, IMF was also in news as IMF along with World Bank launched climate change platform for poor countries. IMF was also in news because of its recent report, and it is World Economic Outlook. Please note that World Economic Prospectus is released by World Bank and World Economic Outlook is released by IMF. So recently this report was released, and as per this report, in fiscal year 2022, India's growth projection is going to be 12.5%, and therefore India is going to be the country with highest growth, including both emerging and advanced economies. Next question is, what is the theme of World Health Day 2021? So every year World Health Day is celebrated on 7th of April. Actually, it is the anniversary of foundation of WHO in 1948. WHO is World Health Organization. So the theme for this year was building a fairer and healthier world. Apart from that, on 9th of April, CRPF Vellore Day was celebrated. CRPF is Central Reserve Police Force. CRPF are under CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Force. That means CRPF are part of CAPF, and CAPF are under the administrative control of MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. Recently, Home Affairs Minister Amit Shah launched Ayushman CAPF scheme. In addition to that, 7th of April was also observed as International Day of Reflection on Genocide in Rwanda. Next question is, which country has hosted the meeting of BRICS Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors 2021? So, India recently hosted the meeting of BRICS Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So, it is a grouping of 5 countries, and there is a bank by these countries. It is New Development Bank. It is also known as BRICS Bank. Recently, Marcus Trojo was appointed as the president of this New Development Bank. Marcus Trojo is from Brazil. So, this meeting was co-chaired by Union Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman and RBI Governor Mr. Shaktikant Das. Now recently, RBI was also in news because of GSAC. GSAC stands for Government Securities Acquisition Program. So this is SAP 1.0. Actually, this is GSAP 1.0. That is Government Securities Acquisition Program 1.0. So as a part of this program, Central Bank, that is Reserve Bank of India, is going to purchase government bonds worth rupee 1 trillion. And the first purchase of rupee 25,000 crore is to be done on 15th of April 2021. RBI was also in news because of its amended or modified inflation forecast rate model. What is inflation? Inflation is price rise. So recently RBI has revised its inflation forecast model. That means this model is used for the estimation of inflation in upcoming time period. So this model has been amended so that the monetary policy and fiscal policy work in coherence, so that they can work in coordination with each other. Fiscal policy is policy by government and monetary policy is policy by Reserve Bank of India, that is central bank. So in this new or in this amended inflation forecast model, there are three major blocks. One is fiscal block, second is fuel block, and third is balance of payment block. Next question is, what was the target for number of houses in the first phase of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin component? So the target was 1 crore houses. Recently it was in news as under this scheme, that is under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin component, 92% of the target has been completed. So the target of first phase was 1 crore and out of that 92% target is completed. Overall, the scheme aims to construct 2.95 crore houses by 2022. In 2022, India is going to complete 75 years of independence. So first thing first, the scheme was launched in 2016. To be specific, it was launched in April 2016. Objective is housing for all by 2022. So the minimum size of house under the scheme is 25 meters square. Previously, it was 20 meters square. Now the financial burden will be shared. So some component will be provided by central government, some component will be provided by the state government. Now in case of plain areas, the distribution is 60-40. That is 60% will be provided by central government, remaining 40% will be provided by the state government. In case of hilly areas, this is about plain areas, this is about hilly areas or northeast area. This contribution is 90-10. That is 90% will be provided by central government and remaining 10% will be provided by state government. And this scheme is under MORD. What is MORD? That is Ministry of Rural Development. Present MORD minister is Narendra Singh Tomar. Recently Mr. Tomar was in news as he launched Madhu Kranti portal. So Madhu is related to bee, Kranti is revolution. Actually Madhu is, I think, honey. So it is an initiative of National Bee Board to enable traceability shows of honey and other beehive products. Now in the context of bee, recently Project Rehab was in news. What is Rehab? It stands for reducing elephant-human attacks using bees. So as the name suggests, with the help of bees, the human-animal conflict is reduced. So this is an initiative by KVIC. What is KVIC? It is Khadi and Village Industries Commission. So it is under MSME Ministry. So this project Rehab was started in Nagarhole National Park of Karnataka. So how this entire thing works? See, this project uses bee boxes as a boundary or as a fence. So suppose this is the national park area and on the boundaries, these bee boxes are used. So like this, these boxes are used. Now these bee create a buzz. This buzz sound irritate elephants. So because of this irritation, they won't come out of these areas. And that is how this will reduce the human-animal conflict. These bee boxes are distributed as a part of Honey Mission. And this Honey Mission is an initiative of KVIC, that is Khadi and Village Industries Commission. This is part of MSME Ministry. Present MSME Ministry is Nitin Gadkari. He also holds the portfolio of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. This Nagarhole National Park, where this project was started, is also known as Rajiv Gandhi National Park. So why this project was in news recently? Now this project will be implemented in other states as well to reduce the human-elephant conflict. Next question is, what amount of refinance assistance will be provided by Reserve Bank of India to all India financial institutions? So this is 50,000 crore. It will be provided to the all India finance institutions such as NABARD, SIDBI and NHB. As a part of this initiative, NABARD is going to receive 25,000 crore, SIDBI is going to receive 15,000 crore and NHB is going to receive 10,000 crore as refinance credit facility. Now recently RBI was also in news because of DSIB, that is domestic systemically important banks. So 3 banks are given the status of DSIB. These are State Bank of India, SDFC and ICICI. Next question is, what is IH2A, which was in news recently? So this IH2A stands for India H2 Alliance. So major players in the energy sector came together to form a new energy coalition. It is India H2 Alliance. Objective is to focus on the hydrogen technologies. That's why H2. So that we can make our country a net zero carbon emitter. So the objective of this alliance or this coalition and to focus on the hydrogen supply chain in our country. Next question is PLI, that is Production Linked Incentives scheme for white goods has been approved recently. What are the goods that are covered under this tag? So recently Union Cabinet headed by Prime Minister approved the PLI scheme for white goods. As the name suggests, PLI, that is Production Linked Incentive, is an incentive given for the production. That means if you are going to produce more, you will receive more incentive. So recently the scheme was approved for white goods, that is for air conditioners and LED lights. And it has been approved with a budget of 6238 crores. Objective is to make India competitive in the manufacturing of these specific products. Apart from that, recently Union Cabinet approved National Program on High Efficiency Solar PV Modules. And this is part of PLI scheme. PLI stands for Production Linked Incentive. So the total outlay or total allocation for this is 4500 crores rupee. So this will provide a focus to the manufacturing of solar photovoltaic, that is PV modules, and this will reduce our dependency on the imports. So these were the most important questions. Now get ready for the test. Thank you, and that's all for the day.